Hello guys, my name is Vasily and finally I feel better. Oh, you don't know. I caught a cold 2 weeks before and I cannot really record any video, but today I feel a little bit better, but I'm not sure. So I decided to try to record not very long, I hope, right? I mean, regularly each of my video is very long because I try to explain everything, try to do everything on fly without preparation. So, and today we are going to talk about very interesting topic, right? So I'm going to start a video series where I'm going to share my experience, give some hints. This is, not a tutorial, right? This is hints. How to start iOS career at 2K22. And today our topic is Objective-C or Swift, right? This is a very interesting topic. Probably, if you are going to be an iOS developer, of course, no, you're going to be the best iOS developer. You are going to be a new star. So, you will start reading information or watching videos like this about, okay, what do I need to start? And 100% you already know that you can use two languages, Objective-C and Swift, to write software for any Apple device. So both of these languages applicable for watches, iPads, macOS, like any device, right? So, what do we need? Like, how we are going to compare these two languages? Of course, these two languages, they're very different. Swift and Objective-C. And how I made this decision. It was a very interesting situation. So I started my iOS career 7 years ago, and I started from Swift 1.2. Yeah, it was wonderful. It was very wonderful times. So before that, I worked. I already had experience with C++. C languages. So at that time, I also had this dilemma, right? What I need to learn, Swift or Objective-C? And of course, I started with Objective-C. I tried to build some applications or write some code with Objective-C because in my head, I had an idea that, okay, Objective-C, we have C letter, right? Objective-C, C. So probably this is the same like C language or C++. I already had experience with C and C++. Why not? Why not to use it? And also, like, lots of software already was created using Objective-C, right? And community had lots of conversation about like Swift, like, hey, Apple is just playing with it and so on. Maybe nobody will use it. Look at Google, like they tried many languages. Look at Microsoft, they also created several languages and they are not very popular. Probably there is a big chance that attempt to onboard to make new language from Apple may fail. It could be, right? And I thought, okay, I will start with Objective-C. Yeah. I was going to be a junior, right? So to become a junior, I need to go to the interview. And regularly, when you are a junior, you will receive like a homework, right? It's like a task that you are going to complete at home. So I received several of them. No. Before I received, I Googled and found several of them. And I started with Objective-C. So what's the problem, right? The problem was that Objective-C was not very user-friendly for me. Like these square brackets and like lots of letters, long lines and so on. It was so uncommon for me and it was hard to start. So, and that really touched my motivation. For example, when you just want to become a junior, right? Or you want to start doing something, it is very important to make a small steps and see results on each step. And when I start write an application with Objective-C language, it was very hard to see the results because I have to Google everything. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not professional. I need to turn off my sounds. Okay, so I have to Google everything. I want to show you examples. You know, maybe not know, but I prefer to write code like on fly, right? But because I had to work with Objective-C, I cannot write Objective-C code from my head. I have to Google it. Probably that can be very long work. Actually, maybe we will make experiments, right? Maybe we can sit together and like create an application using only Objective-C, maybe compare with Swift, I don't know. But I created two applications, Objective-C and Swift, where I implement the same functionality. And I just want to show you how it looks like. Right, let me switch. I mean, I want you to have some, I don't know, something visual, right, to make a decision. Because of course, after this video, you are going to the next video, maybe to the next my video, maybe to some another channels, and try to explore more information, right? Because first steps are very hard. First steps everywhere, it's very hard. And you fight with yourself, you fight with motivation, you're trying to get information, right? You're trying to make everything working, but it is hard. I know it. I'm with you guys. I remember the times. It was just, I mean, 7 years ago. Yeah, I'm working as a iOS developer as 7 years. It's not like extremely like big experience, but I think I can suggest something. So, what can we see here? I created a small application. Let's run it. I hope you can see it. Let me move it here and make it bigger, right? Okay. So you can see that we have here rows with different text, right? And we have just 100 cells, and that's it. Like a small table view without like a complex layout. I use everything standard. So this is Swift version, right? So we can look at this code. I'm not sure we should talk about this code, right? Because if you don't know iOS and Swift, that code will not help you, right? Maybe we will talk about it later, but I want you to like try to read it. Of course, all of this code I will publish somewhere on a Git, and you can I'm sorry. And you can read it and make a decision, right? So you can see that like this is view controller, right? We have some layouts, and here we have a delegate, like a function that execute when we click on any cell, for example, right? We click on cell and we right now see alert, right? So yeah, we have it. Then we have a configuration, right? Like how many sections, how many rows, like 100 rows, right? And we have like a cell, right? We configure a view. So these through lines describe this cell, like text 0, text 1, text 2. So this is going from this cell. Yeah, and this is like a pretty simple, right? And what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to open Objective-C version. Absolutely the same, and again, before I'm doing it, so I am not a big expert with Objective-C, right? So if I made a mistake, of course you can correct me, why not? Objective-C version, right? So first of all, you can see that we have a little bit more files here. It's okay. This is like this is C style, right? Where we have a header file and where we have like a implementation file, right? So you can see that at Swift language, at Swift version, we have app delegate, scene delegate, view controller. The same in Objective-C version, app delegate, scene delegate, view controller, right? Okay. So it's not a problem. And let's look at the code. It looks a little bit more massive, but again, it's not a problem. I'm not against Objective-C. Lots of great applications was created using Objective-C, and this is absolutely normal, right? So what do we have here? The same, right? We have initializer, right? Initializer where we set properties. Here we can do this, and also we can use our own initializer. It's not a difference, so this is not a difference, right? Let's look at layout. This is layout, and the same layout is here. It's pretty common, right? Let me try to do this, where we can compare like kind of side by side, right? Okay, so we have this layout, right? Like add subview, right? We have translate, auto resizing, mask, into constraints. We have anchors, right? And also we have anchors here. It's visually, it's something the same, but Swift a little bit more compact, right? I mean, like you can, using Swift language, you can write less code, right? If we compare with Objective-C, Swift much more readable, it much more compact. For example, let's look at this anchor, like a top anchor, right? Table view, top anchor, constraint equal, then we have this, and like we have to use self. Let me try to do it experiment. Maybe we can. Will it compile? Yeah, it's not going to compile. So, and if we look at this line, right? Visually, it's a little bit more compact. Swift is a little bit more beautiful, but again, everything what I'm talking, this is just my feeling, and based on my experience, I started with Objective-C and I failed. I switched to Swift, it was 7 years before. I switched to Swift and everything started working. I mean, I got results and I said, okay, I am going to stick with Swift. So, then, let's look at our table view, right? This is our table view. Right, so we have absolutely the same, but much longer functions, right? Number of sections in table view, return int. Here we return ns integer, right? Number of sections in table view. It's pretty the same, but a little bit more massive, right? I mean, and visually, again, visually, Swift is better. This is my personal meaning, right? If you are Objective-C professional, maybe you can, you can write lots of comments and tell me, hey, Vasily, you just do not know how to work with Objective-C. I will teach you, I will show you the beauty of Objective-C. That's also possible. I mean, I worked with Objective-C something around maybe 1 year, maybe 1.5 years, and on the project I was migrating from Objective-C to Swift 3, right? That's my only experience with Objective-C. Yeah, and of course I read some posts, replies in Stack Overflow, and right now I understand Objective-C, but maybe I don't know all the details, all the runtime magic and so on. So you can also see like how we create a cell. We use type, we create cell, and we have the same, right? I mean, like, let cell, create cell, declare reusable cell with identifier, right? And here also, like, it's a different form. We also can write something like this here. We can define type in Swift language, like table view, declare reusable cell with identifier, right? Cell identifier for index path, right? I decided not to use index path here, but we can do it. For index path. Yeah, let's do it. Right? And yeah, I mean, if we look at this part, okay. If you look at this part, you can see that it's pretty the same. Right, I mean, it's okay, right? I mean, Vasily, what are you talking about? It's pretty the same. Let's look at their at the clicking. Like, actually, let me show you. Oh, wait a moment. Let me show you the project, right? Maybe it is not working. First of all, because I demo Swift project, right? And I didn't show you Objective-C version, right? Let's run it and show what we will have. So is it Objective-C version? Oh, yeah. Is it Objective-C version? Let's look at this. Right, table view Objective-C, and this is table view Swift. Okay. We can see that we have absolutely the same, right? And when we click, we have the same alert, right? Let's look at alert. So this is what we have in Swift language, right? We click on cell, and then we create alert, we add button, and we show alert. Here, what we have the same, right? We create alert. We create action, means button, right? And then we show it. But again, it looks like a little bit more massive, right? Modern languages, right, like Swift, maybe Kotlin. Kotlin is nice. Modern languages right now looks much compact. And again, the reason that you have less code on your screen, like on your page, but you can read much more on a single page of a code, right? So an Xcode, I mean. And you can see that it's pretty the same. I will publish all of it in a GitHub. What do we have? And you can see that Swift and Objective-C languages, they are not very different they're not very different when we look at syntax. I mean, not a huge difference, right? A very huge difference how they work. Like, for example, we have Objective-C runtime magic. I mean, you can Google about runtime in Objective-C. It's like a magic. You can do anything. When you run application, you can do everything. You can override functionality and so on. So, and you cannot do the same in Swift. So, and this is like a technical difference. But again, when I was picking correct language, language that I'm going to use, I was not looking at these technical details. For me, it was simpler, and this is my suggestion. Take these two projects, right? Go download it, open Xcode and modify it. Both of them. For example, I don't know, add image or try to add more text, try to do something like a news wall, right, that you can scroll, try. And then you will understand, okay, like maybe Objective-C is working for you, why not? So, but, my suggestion will be like this. If you are going to become iOS developer or macOS developer or watchOS developer or iPadOS developer, pick Swift. Why? That was a question 7 years before, maybe 6 years, maybe 5 also. I think before Swift 3.0 release, there was many conversations about, okay, Objective-C or Swift, Swift or Objective-C. Hey, Swift is a new modern language, Objective-C will die. And oh, Objective-C is the best. I mean, it had like more than 20, 30, 40 years of experience, like lots of software created with Objective-C. Swift will not survive. So that was maybe like 5 years before. But when Apple released Swift 3, these conversations become not very popular. More and more developers started to work with Swift language. And even right now, lots of modern courses already on Swift. If you want to learn something, it will be very hard to find a normal, fresh course. For example, today in 2022, it's very hard to find fresh Objective-C iOS course. I think so. This is maybe possible, but why? Why you are going to spend so much time for it? So definitely, there is a big chance that maybe if you start today, you will find your first iOS job in 6 months, 3 months, maybe in a couple of weeks. Maybe you're already inspired and your code will be perfect, right? So you will have a chance to work with Objective-C. But today it is more complex, right? And since we are all working, right, we cannot like stop. Okay, that was my situation. I was working as C++ developer, and I just cannot stop working and learn iOS, Swift, Objective-C, everything like this. I had a limited time, like 1-2 hours per evening, and I spent this time to write some Swift code, or Objective-C code, or iOS code. Probably most of you have the same situation, right? So, Swift. Again, Swift is your choice. For today, you will have faster progress. Like you can find more fresh courses. I want to tell you that when you try to pick any course, for example, that happened with me. Like a year ago, I started learning backend and Ruby on Rails, and I said, okay, what can be changed? I found a very cool guy that had lots of experience. I mean, he created a series, like let's create a blog using Ruby on Rails. So create a front end, back end using Ruby on Rails. So, and like first several videos was perfect, everything was working. But after, like everything was changed, API was changed, third-party libraries, frameworks was changed, and I had to fight. So instead of learning, like on each video, I had to fight with like, okay, why it is working on his machine but not working on my machine? So it was a year before, 2021, and course was from 2018, right? Like 3 years old. So yes, and that was a problem. And again, if you are very motivated, highly motivated, you can fight with this, and this is good because you will learn much more rather than everything what will be in the course. But you will have not a fast progress, but you will learn like how a real engineer fight with a problem. We always fight with a problem, fight with a code that was created by another people, or code that was created by ourselves like years before, right? So it is not very funny. So motivation is very important, and that is the reason. So again, based on motivation, based that Swift is simpler than Objective-C, based on these ideas, I suggest to pick Swift. I am not comparing technical details. You can do it. You can find this information and say, no, Vasily, you are not right. I am going to pick Objective-C because blah, 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 because of the reasons. And probably, I think, number of these reasons can be a lot. It will not be like one reason, right? I want to learn because of single reason. I expect that Objective-C also is alive, actually, right? Lots of software still working, right? So that was my experience, my hint for the topic. Okay, my cat decided to go out. I think this is time to stop the video. Thank you for your patience. I hope that you survived, that you got my point. Write your questions directly in the comments. Oh, of course, you're very good, right? You're not going to, know everything. You're not going to write any comment. And, of course, you're not going to subscribe, because I will find you. See you in the next video. Have a wonderful rest of the week, month, year, of everything. See you. Bye.